Hi everyone, I have got Marion O'Leary with me today from Mokosh Skincare, and I'm delighted to have Marion joining me on a really important conversation in regards to women's health. And now that I have a almost teenage daughter, and even before that, in terms of what we're exposing our bodies to and our children's bodies to in terms of skincare. And why it's so important, and in particular in regards to endocrine, those hormone disruptors that are commonly found in many products. So Marion, perhaps we could start with sharing a little bit about what Mokosh shares and the products that you have and how you got started.
Yeah, sure. So I make skincare. We make organic skincare. We make the full range of cleansers, moisturizers, serums,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. My background was in science. I was a veterinary scientific surgeon for a long time, and then I went into research. I did medical research. And then I was having a break in my career and started, when my children were very young, and started looking at soap and skincare and things. And I think when I started to really look at skincare and with the idea of making it for myself, I had to look at how it's made normally. And I was pretty surprised and a little bit very worried actually when I discovered what goes into all our skincare and what we put on our children, babies. It was things that I just thought, wow, this is standard, this is universal, this is accepted, we do it without question. And it got me thinking that there had to be a better way really of making skincare.
Yeah, fantastic. And so, which is a big thing that you've done in terms of creating new products. Tell us a little bit about Mokosh and how you came up with the name and what it stands for, and then I guess through that process, some of the kind of myths and things that you discovered in the industry.
Yeah. Okay. So a long story short, I started to think I'm not going to do my science anymore. I'm going to make skincare because I felt there was a big need for something that is really clean and something that doesn't have to have all these things in it that we take for granted that have to be in our products. And so the name Mokosh came up. I was looking for a strong woman to be behind this business, and started looking at names. And Mokosh is actually an ancient deity. She's a goddess. She's very powerful, and I like the name, so that's how I chose the name.
Oh, beautiful.
When I guess the first thing I looked at with skincare was the way it's made. Most moisturizers are just oil mixed with water, and it's the oil that does the moisturizing in that product. In that product, the water is there really to dilute the oil. So most moisturizers are about 80% water, 20% oil, and because water is in the product, that means bacteria and fungus can grow in it unless there is a preservative in it. So just because we've always decided that moisturizers have to have water in them so that they feel light on our skin, that means we have to have preservatives, and so that they're safe to use. And preservatives are very powerful antibacterial and antifungal agent. They're very strong chemicals. They do the job of killing the bacteria and the fungi, but many of them, as we're now understanding, do also have effects on our bodies. Parabens are the most widely used preservatives now in skincare. It's very regulated, said to be safe for anyone, but it's now known parabens do go into our bodies. They're absorbed into our bodies, and then they're metabolized and excreted. But they also have very low levels of estrogenic effects, and that this has been known for a long time, that parabens do have an estrogenic effect, but it was thought to be so low, the level of estrogenic effect, that it was safe. But
Sorry, Marion, just to explain that the estrogenic effect is like the hormone which is also important for female fertility and reproduction and things, isn't it?
That's right, and it's important in men too.
And men too, yeah.
Yeah. So estrogens are any hormone in our body is extremely powerful. It has many effects on many tissues in our body. Estrogen would have an effect on not just our sex organs, but other organs too. And because in laboratory testing, parabens, they're used at very small levels in as a preservative. But some of them now, they have shown in only a couple of years ago, there was a study in a journal, scientifically reviewed journal, that showed even at those low levels of estrogen activity in our bodies, they will have effect in laboratory animals. They will cause uterus to grow larger than normal. That's a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
Levels that we know are present in our bodies from having parabens on our skin. That's, to me, like, I wouldn't go near a paraben now, knowing that.
Yeah.
But these studies are very difficult to do, and still parabens are still legal. They're still widely used in baby products, and estrogens are obviously very damaging, or they're more concerning when used in young people.
So do they know, does the research show how much has an effect?
They showed that, this study showed that they can't prove an effect in humans, okay? So they can't do that because you would have to do a huge study to show an effect in a human. But what we do know is that the levels that they used, they found the parabens in the laboratory animals, the blood levels and the levels in the urine, they had abnormally large uteri in the young. The uteruses were enlarged, significantly enlarged. But these are blood levels that are known to be present in humans from parabens. So these are levels that we see in the population. In a human, we know that level will affect the uterus of a rat. Okay, so that's all we can tell from that. We don't know for sure. They haven't been able to prove that parabens cause estrogenic effects in humans, but the evidence is there that it could.
Yeah, definitely.
It's enough evidence to make you think, well, if I can avoid a paraben, I should. Well, I wouldn't put it on my baby.
Yeah, definitely. And in your research, I know one of the things that I loved about the work that you do is that you're very mindful and sensitive to the microbiome on the skin, so the good bacteria on the skin. And for me, that really resonated in keeping that healthy, because we know how important that population is. So what is the percentage of, the parabens would obviously knock that out as well, because they're knocking out the bad bugs. Is that right?
There's just, there's been little research on how the parabens affect our skin. Because, it's a tricky study. There was one study I looked very hard to find out, has anyone looked at how a preservative affects the skin's bacteria? And there's only been one that I could find, and that did affect the bacteria. So the preservative has to be quite powerful to last in that skin product for 1 or 2 years. So it has to be that length of time, be able to kill any bacteria that enters that product. So once it goes on your skin, it will still be active. Otherwise, it will not be doing its job. It has to still be able to kill those bacteria. So it may only be active on the skin. It may start to degrade once it reaches the air and everything. It might not be active for hours, but it will be active for a little while, at least. And so putting product on your skin every day that is an antibacterial, to my mind, will affect the bacteria population on your skin. And there have been studies showing that a lot of people with eczema have an abnormal bacterial microbiome on their skin. And now they don't know yet whether that change in bacteria came before and caused the eczema, or the eczema changed the bacterial which came first. But you know, people put products on their babies, you know, every day. You know, some people are prone to eczema. So we know there's a genetic component, and so what, you know, we still don't know the effect of the preservative on babies' microbiome. Is it predisposing them? Who knows? We don't know yet, but we know that we are putting a powerful antibacterial on their skin.
And also the skin being the largest organ and absorbs straight into the bloodstream, really.
Yeah.
You know, is there...
Some of the things in skincare will be absorbed, a lot won't. We know parabens are absorbed, but a lot won't go in. But there's selectivity. You know, your skin has some barrier properties. So
what else do we need to look out for in terms of skincare products, Marion?
Well, a big one, I think, is phthalates, which are fragrances. Really, they're used in a lot of fragrances. They're worrying because they're hormone disruptors as well. There's things like PEGs, which are you'll often see them in mainstream skincare brands. PEG, you see that letter, it's short for polyethylene glycol. There's a whole class of compounds. They're used to increase penetration of ingredients. They can also carry contaminants. They can have molecules absorbed onto them which are toxic, like dioxanes, which are known to be very dangerous. Like they're known toxins. Sometimes those PEGs can be contaminated. But having a PEG there, having a PEG, that polyethylene glycol ingredient in your skincare, means that whatever else is in there with it is going to be entering your body more easily. So that it's like enhances the absorption of things that may not otherwise be absorbed. So might help your parabens cross over more easily, or I think the problem with the more I look into it, the more I feel like when you're using a synthetic ingredient, you're using it for a purpose. For example, parabens, they're great at killing bacteria, which is what you want when you've got a watery moisturizer. You need to kill those bacteria, otherwise it will cause problems on your skin. But we don't really necessarily understand the full effect of that synthetic ingredient in the body.
On our body and how it reacts to that.
Yeah. So you're putting it there for a reason, but long term, even in small doses, these things, when they enter your body, can be having profound effects. And if they're affecting your endocrine system, that's a big thing to affect, because hormones are so powerful in our bodies. And,
they're chemical messengers, aren't they? So they orchestrate so much.
Exactly, yeah. And small effects, so that, for example, that effect of that paraben, that tiny dose of paraben in the bloodstream affecting immature rats, they're making their uterus thicker, making the glands bigger, the glands in the wall of the uterus enlarge. That's a powerful effect.
Yeah, definitely.
Very powerful effect and so we don't know. I mean, that could be happening to us now, and we might be not enough for us to measure, or how can you, in a human population, there are too many variables. You have to do an enormous study to know whether that's...
I mean, that's a lot. And the synthetic, they're all synthetic ingredients, the parabens, phthalates, and the PEG.
So is there no preservative. There is no natural preservative.
Okay.
That will be effective. So a lot of people just think, some of those essential oils, they're antibacterial. They're not powerful enough to kill the bacteria, not powerful enough to do this, to preserve like a moisturizer with watering. Okay. So there's no natural preservative.
Is there, before we get to the good news, because there's got to be good news, is there anything else that we need to be aware of in terms of skincare and what we're putting on our skin?
Well, yeah, Okay, so apart from you think talking about endocrine things, are you in particular,
Not
or?
especially, just a general awareness.
I
Yeah.
guess when I look at when I started to make skincare, apart from preservatives, which I felt concerned about, emulsifiers. So when you have the water and oil mixture, then you making them into a moisturizer, you have to add an emulsifier in order to get them to mix and form a cream and a stable emulsion. And an emulsifier is effectively a detergent. Okay, so you can't get oil and water to mix; they will just separate, as you've seen many times probably. A detergent-like molecule will allow them to mix. So whenever we use an emulsion like a water-containing cream, we are putting emulsifier on our skin, which is a detergent. So, of course, people have learned over the years that you can get mild emulsifiers, so they're not going to be too damaging to your skin, but they are all detergents. So every emulsifier has to have a positive end and a negative end in order, like a
Battery charge.
Yeah. And so that our skin is really sensitive to that. As you know, if you put detergent on your skin, you take the oil out. You disrupt that barrier that is very carefully built by your skin. So emulsifiers, when you put them on, when you put on a cream, the water evaporates very quickly and you're left with the oil. So you're left with a nice thin layer of oil on your skin. The emulsifier stays on your skin. So the water evaporates, but the emulsifier is on there until you wash it off. So that's a long time for a detergent to be on your skin.
Yeah.
I just think, why would you do that? Why would you put that in?
Well, it's disrupting, as you say, that oil on the skin is actually really important, isn't it, in terms of protecting the skin?
Yeah, the oil is really what's doing the moisturizing. Yeah.
Okay.
If water evaporates very quickly.
Yeah. So it's like a can of worms in a way.
But when you look at it, you just think, why do people ever make them this way?
Yeah. So what can we do for our skin? What's the best thing in your what do we look for?
Well, I think if you want to have first of all, I think certified organic products.
Yeah.
You're pretty safe with skincare that's certified organic because, firstly, the preservative, they won't allow parabens in certified organic. There's certain well-known, not that safe preservatives they will not allow in there. So that they vet that for you. You know, the certified organic process gets rid of that. And they won't allow a lot of there's other synthetic ingredients in skincare that they will not permit because of the safety issues.
Yeah.
So that vets it for you. It takes away that, is this going to harm my baby kind of question.
Yeah.
But any water-containing skincare, even the certified organics, does have to have a preservative. Okay. There's still that question of is it harming my microbiome? I don't actually have the answer to that. I don't know. The studies haven't been done. But to my mind, I don't really like the idea of putting strong antibacterial on my skin. And also any water-containing certified organic skincare will have the emulsifier in it too because they're made with water and oil. So
so even if it's certified organic, it may potentially still not be the best thing.
Yeah, it will still have a preservative.
And
it will still have an emulsifier.
Yeah.
So that doesn't rule that out.
Okay. So when we're looking at purchasing something like this, do we look for water? We'll always have water in there, like aqua or whatever it might be.
Aloe vera juice is a common used water base. So because it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aloe vera juice sounds pretty good, but that's really water. It's that the juice from aloe vera is 95% water.
Oh, okay.
So the water, that's the water part that you mix with oil. So or hydrosol is another one. That's the water part. When you distill an essential oil, a hydrosol is the water component. So it may not always have aqua. It might have aloe vera juice, or it might have hydrosol or something like that.
Okay.
So anything with water would have to have a preservative,
Yeah.
and will have to have the emulsifier.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything else we need to look for when we're purchasing and looking at labels and things? Is that, you've pretty much covered it?
Well, that's
briefly.
I guess as far as things like hand washes go, I would always steer clear of anything that has triclosan in it. I don't know if you know triclosan.
No.
It's like an antibacterial that if you buy an antibacterial hand wash, often it will have triclosan in it. It's very powerful antibacterial. It used to be used in, or still used in hospitals, I think. But it's so powerful that it will increase antibiotic resistance in hospitals. So now they're looking, I think a lot of them are looking at different options.
Okay.
Very bad for the environment. It kills, kills sea life, plant, aqua life. But also, I just, anything like that, it's not, it does its job. Very long, long term. It's not very good for safe environment.
So I'm all about the most natural as possible in terms of doing the job. And that's what I love about Mokosh. But interested to hear how you preserve your products then, Marion. How is it possible?
Yeah, well, what we did, we just made our products without water. Okay, so for our moisturizers, instead of using the 80% water, 20% oil, ours are 100% oil or butters. So they're oil-based. So we don't have water in them. It means they don't need a preservative. So if you take olive oil, for example, olive oil doesn't have to go in the fridge. It will sit in your cupboard stably for years without growing. It'll never grow bacteria. It will eventually go rancid. It will start to oxidize and start to, over the years, it can go rancid, but no bacteria or fungus can grow in pure oil. So it's the presence of water that allows. So just by making our products without water, we don't need preservatives. So it means what we do. So for example, people might think, oh my God, I don't want to put oil on my skin. It will feel weird. Just put the water on your face. So when you wash your face, leave a bit of water and then just get a tiny bit of oil and then massage it over your face. And you need like 1/5 what you would normally use of a cream, of a water-containing cream with our products. Instead of the 80% water in the jar or the bottle, you have that on your face, and then you need that 20%, and that will just spread thinly over your face, and you will get the same effect as a normal moisturizer. So you can just really, your moisturizer is just oil on your face. That is the effective part of the moisturizer.
Well, and I must admit, I've been using your products for a couple of months now, which is why I'm so keen to chat to you. And I just love them. They are, a little, I guess, greasier, oilier, but you don't need nearly as much, and then it absorbs in really nicely. So
it takes a while to get used to how little you need. I think because we're putting, when you use a water-containing cream, you need quite a reasonable amount to spread over your face. With ours, you just need that tiny dab, really, and that's enough. So,
it's fantastic. Is there any other myths or anything else we need to be aware of? Do you think in purchasing these things? And I mean, are many other people doing what you're doing, Marion?
No, not really. I think people are slowly understanding that that it's the oil. People are afraid. Oil. They're afraid of, like, I don't want to have greasy skin. They're afraid of that. I don't want oil on my face. I've got acne or something like that. But people need to understand that even people with acne, even perhaps more so, that your skin needs a barrier. And when our skin goes dry, it's the barrier to our skin which keeps bacteria out. So people with acne often some people think that acne is partly caused by a poor barrier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
even though they've got
interesting.
oily skin, but they're producing not enough of one of the essential fatty acids in their sebum. People think now, because what they think might be happening with acne when people have a lot of oil
Yeah.
is they're underproducing one of the fatty acids in their sebum, so their body's producing more in order to try and produce more of that. So they're producing more sebum to try and bring up the level of this omega-6 fatty acid. So by using omega-6 fatty acid rich oils in your moisturizer, you calm that down, you start to slow down the sebum production. It's like a negative feedback loop starts. And people have found actually that applying oils high in this omega-6 fatty acid can actually reduce the size of the blackheads and the appearance of pores. So there is some evidence that that is very effective. And the lack of that fatty acid in your skin can actually cause it to, the barrier to break down.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So by using the right oil, so you don't, if you've got oily skin, you don't want to put like olive oil on your skin or coconut oil. That's not the right oil. You need to use these ones high in omega-6 fatty acids.
Which ones are they?
Okay, there's quite a few that we use. So for example, baobab oil, what else? Sunflower oil. We don't use that so much. We find that a bit heavier, but sunflower oil is high in omega-6. Let me just think of my...
That's okay. That's okay. No.
Yeah. Sesame oil is quite
sesame oil. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of more accessible.
Yeah. So those, they're often lighter. They do oxidize more easily, so you have to be careful you use them when they're fresh.
Yeah.
We use a good antioxidant with ours to keep them from oxidizing, rosemary leaf extract. That's a very powerful antioxidant.
Okay.
That keeps them stable.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent.
Mm.
And Marion, I guess you're in Fremantle, but where can people find the best place to find your products?
Oh, well, on our website we have a list of stockists. So we've got quite a few stockists around Perth and in Australia.
And what's your website? Is it mokosh.com.au? Yeah.
That's it.
Mokosh.com.au, and that's MOKOSH.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, that's excellent. Thanks so much, Marion. It's so interesting to, just to be more aware of what we're putting on the skin, because we can take it for granted. It's easy to take it for granted, but it is one of our largest organs.
Yeah. I think I did the same. When I started this, I had no idea what was in skin. Think about what was going on my skin or on my children's skin. I had no idea. I just thought it must be safe. If it's in the pharmacy or if it's a reputable place I'm buying, it must be okay. But when you start to look at things more deeply, you start to think, hey, I shouldn't take this for granted.
And I will just say, the skincare is really important, but at the same time, I've seen with people that I work with, the clients that I work with, their skin improve dramatically when they also look at their diet and start improving their diet and their lifestyle and managing stress and things as well. So it really is an inside job as well as an outside job.
I think so. I think diet is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then just treat your skin well and gently, and don't put on too many harsh things. I think we tend to often over cleanse, with detergent, and sort of we're sort of sabotaging our skin by disrupting its barrier. So be gentle with your skin, and put nice natural things on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks so much, Marion. Perhaps as we close, I'd love to, the number one kind of thing that you think people it would help to take away with them today.
Yeah, I think what I would, if I'd been told earlier, I would have been pleased, is to understand what you're putting on your skin. Have an understanding of the ingredients. If you don't know what those ingredients are, if it's a chemical name that you don't understand, well, I would avoid it. I would use ingredients that I really know why they're there. Choose a skincare so that you are empowered when you put that on your skin. You think, I'm putting this on because of that, not because it says natural or something.
Yeah.
I think it's something that you know what you're doing. It's like when you're eating good food, you understand about the nutrients, why they're good for you. It's the same. Your skin is just, I don't think it's as important as food, but it's equally important, and it can have, you can take charge of it.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great message. I love it. That's fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate, Marion. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're on Facebook and Instagram, so people can find you there?
Yes, they can. Yeah.
At Mokosh?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Marion.
Okay.
Take care.
See you.